Hey family, and all you no doubters out there, you can call me Fortune. Today, we're going to talk about how to change my results. How do I change my results? As we look at the changing of our results, you have to realize one thing, that most of our results are a product of our habits. So we have to change our habits first. And most of you understand that habits have led to my results, but what you may not understand right now is that your habits are an internal game. They are something that must begin from the inside. You must begin with who you are as a core belief if we want to, over a long, sustained period of time, change your results. Because we can, some of us can go for a little while. We can go a week or 2 weeks, and we can start changing some of our activities. Now, some of us are have a little more willpower, more strong-willed. We can go a month, maybe even 2 months without changing, with just using willpower to change, be it our motivation. But now, what's going to keep us motivated over long term to make some long changing results, to change our habits over the long term? Is going to take a little more than that. And what that's going to take is actually, again, as I said, starting with the inside, changing our beliefs. So I'm going to give you 3 things that are going to help you change your beliefs. But first off, let me tell you a little story here. When I was working with a good friend of mine some years ago, putting up, installing signs and putting up painting signs and things of this nature all around the country, actually. Well, one of my very good friend of mine had been working in this business for years, and he had this one supreme skill. He was able to just go in and put in these signs, these posts, the post for him, without even using a level. So he would have them directly on, and I would challenge him all the time. That's not level. That can't be level, right? So I pull out my level and I put it up against the side of the pole, and almost every single time it was accurate, completely accurate. I could not believe what he was doing. And I wanted to have that result. I wanted to be able to just do that. I just thought it was just this really cool skill. I could just go on and level anything without a level. I was a human level, right? Just eyeballing it. I wanted that skill. So what I had to do was not only to find that I wanted that skill, I had to decide, well, what type of person is able to do this? And it was somebody that was actually working in the field every single day. That was actually working in construction. I found out a lot of people in construction who are putting up poles and things of that nature, create building construction, have this very similar skill. So what I did was I continued to put in these signs every single day with this one thing in mind. Every time I put in a pole, I would put it in and I try to level it by without the level. And then I go measure the level, the pole with the level to see how accurate, how close I was, and make the adjustments. And over time, over about a month of putting in signs, hundreds of signs, I eventually got to the point where I was pretty accurate with just putting in the pole without using a level. And after 2 months, by the end of that summer, I could put in a pole, hang up a sign or anything else I was doing without using a level, because I was focusing on those small little actions over an extended period of time that got me the result that I wanted. Same thing happened going along with making videos and doing presentations. You see, I wanted to get to a point where I can present myself and present an idea without feeling like, did I even say that right? Did I use the right word? Were they engaged? Was I getting the right feedback? Did they even listen to me? I had to get to a point where I felt like I was communicating properly. That was my goal that I wanted. So what I had to do was look around to some of the best speakers around me and see what they were doing. What I found out is that some of the best speakers around me were doing certain small things that I needed to change in my presentations and my presenting and speaking to the camera. And so it just took some time, and over a large amount of videos that I've created, I finally got to the point where I could sit down with anybody, feel very confident that I could look them in the eye and present to them my business, or just speak to them on leadership, or speaking to them on personal development, and have some authority about what I'm saying, because I can look them in the eye, be engaged, and see and judge whether they were listening and where they maybe has confusion on the face. I can either communicate the message and get it clearly delivered to them. Now, again, that took a little bit of time. I didn't worry about my results in the beginning, but over time, as I continue to speak, continue to talk to camera, continue to do the presentations, I make these tweaks, and eventually, over time, my results start saying that people were understanding. People started nodding. People started communicating with me afterwards saying, I like what you said. I got it. those results came over time. So here, let me get the 3 steps to help you with this process of changing your results. The first thing, as we've discussed, is to define what it is, the result that you want. What is it? What result do you want and what goal do you want to achieve? And the very first example was I wanted to be able to put up these polls without level. The second example was being able to communicate clearly and effectively. Now, the second thing I had to do is this, after we define what we want, the second thing to do is that we must define what type of person I must be at the core. What kind of belief system that I need to have in order to get those results? And the first was I need to be someone who was a constructor in construction who just said, I can do this. I don't care. I'm so confident about putting these poles in on my position that I can put signs in or hang anything I want without using a level. The second thing was I had to define myself as an effective communicator. So these are the 2 definitions I had to have for myself, and I wanted to become those type of persons. The last thing you have to do is focus on the activity, not the results. You see, when I first started putting those signs in, the posts were not accurate. They were not accurate. Often, I couldn't even get the signs, the posts into the hole properly because my hole wasn't dug properly. So therefore, the post would always move. The other thing was when I first started speaking, I was stuttering. My eyes were shifting all over the place. My speed would go up and down. My voice would go up and down. I wasn't projecting. I wasn't able to look people in the eyes. I was thinking about what I was saying and not what the person was doing. So I had to get over all these little things, but I was focusing on the activity, just doing it and doing it and doing it. And eventually I got to the point where I was communicating effectively. So again, those 3 things are: 1, define the result that you want. 2, define the person that gets those results. And 3, focus on the activity that will get you to become that person, and which eventually get you the results that you want. Now, what I want you to do is in the comment section of here, give me those answers to those 3 things. First, again, give me what it is the results you want to change. 2, the type of person that gets those results. And 3, give me an activity that you're going to focus on to get you those results. And as always, I want you to know, you can do anything that you want in this world because God wants you to have it. All you got to do is believe. You can live a life of no doubt. Yes, a life of no doubt, just blessings. You can find that out here. Talk to you later.